Scene script. Have you ever wondered how a common soldier can become the emperor of one of the most powerful empires in history? Enter Gaius Aurelius Valerius Diocletianus, more commonly known as Diocletian. His story begins in the humblest of settings, born to a family of low status in the Roman province of Dalmatia around the year 244. As a young man, he joined the Roman military, a common path for those seeking to rise above their station. But Diocletian was not a common soldier. He was a man of exceptional skill and ambition, and he climbed through the ranks with a rapidity that was as remarkable as it was rare. He served under several emperors, proving himself a capable and reliable commander. His military prowess was only outshined by his strategic acumen, making him a standout figure in an era riddled with political instability. The 3rd century was a tumultuous time for the Roman Empire. It was a period known as the 3rd century crisis, marked by frequent changes in leadership, economic instability, and threats from external forces. The empire was in desperate need of a strong, competent leader. Diocletian was seen as a beacon of hope in this sea of chaos. His military successes had not gone unnoticed, and his reputation as a strategic mastermind preceded him. He was respected and feared in equal measure, and it was this unique combination that made him an ideal candidate for the throne. In the year 284, after the assassination of the then Emperor Carinus, Diocletian was proclaimed emperor by the army. He was not a man of noble birth, not a man destined for greatness from the cradle. No, he was a soldier, a man who had risen from the ranks, a man who had proven his worth on the battlefield and in the political arena. And thus the stage was set for Diocletian, the soldier turned emperor, to make his mark on history. Imagine ruling an empire on the brink of collapse. How would you restore order and stability? This was the daunting task faced by Emperor Diocletian as he ascended to the throne of the Roman Empire in the year 284. Diocletian was a man of vision and pragmatism, and he recognized that the empire was too vast for one person to govern effectively. So in a move that was both audacious and unprecedented, he divided the empire into 2 halves, the Eastern and Western Roman Empire. This decision was not made lightly, but it was a necessary step to ensure that the empire could be managed more efficiently. But Diocletian didn't stop there. He also established what was known as the Tetrarchy, a system of co-emperors. This meant that each half of the empire would be ruled by 2 emperors, a senior emperor, or Augustus, and a junior emperor, or Caesar. This system allowed for a smoother transition of power and helped to prevent infighting among potential successors. In addition to these administrative changes, Diocletian implemented a series of economic reforms. He introduced a new system of taxation that was based on the land's productive capacity rather than its size. He also reformed the currency, introducing new coins that helped to stabilize the economy. On the military front, Diocletian reorganized the Roman armies, making them more mobile and effective. He also fortified the frontiers of the empire, creating a buffer against the barbarian invasions that had plagued Rome for decades. Despite these achievements, Diocletian's reign was not without controversy. His policies, though effective, were often harsh and authoritarian. He was known for his severe persecution of Christians, a policy that would have long-lasting effects on the empire and its people. Diocletian's reign was marked by stability and reform, but it was not without its controversies. His reign, however, set a new course for the Roman Empire, one that would shape its future in profound and lasting ways. But how did Diocletian's rule impact the everyday lives of the Roman people? This is a question that takes us deep into the heart of the Roman Empire, revealing the profound influence of a ruler on his subjects. One of the most notable aspects of Diocletian's reign was his persecution of Christians. As he sought to restore the old Roman gods, Christians found themselves at odds with the emperor's vision. They were subjected to harsh penalties, including confiscation of property, loss of rights, and even death. This relentless persecution, while it caused immense suffering, also shaped the resilience and determination of the early Christian community. Turning to economic affairs, Diocletian's reign was marked by significant tax reforms. In an attempt to stabilize the empire's shaky financial structure, he introduced a system of regular taxation based on a person's wealth and profession. This was a radical departure from the previous sporadic and inconsistent tax practices. While these reforms brought stability to the empire's economy, they were met with resistance from those who were burdened by the new system. Perhaps one of Diocletian's most ambitious measures was his attempt to control inflation. With the empire's currency in crisis, he issued an edict that fixed maximum prices for goods and services. This was a bold move intended to protect the poor from the ravages of inflation. However, it was not well received, as it interfered with free market forces and was almost impossible to enforce effectively. Despite its shortcomings, this edict represents one of the earliest known attempts at government regulation of the economy. So how did these policies influence the course of the empire's history? They set the stage for a period of relative stability, but also sowed the seeds of unrest and division. The persecution of Christians, for example, served to strengthen their resolve and contributed to the eventual rise of Christianity as the dominant religion of the empire. Diocletian's reign left a lasting impact on the Roman society, for better or worse. He was a ruler who dared to take bold measures in the face of crisis, and his influence can still be seen in the threads of history that weave our world today. But even the most successful reigns must come to an end. How did Diocletian's rule conclude? In a twist of fate, Diocletian, the emperor who had brought stability and security to the Roman Empire during its 3rd century crisis, made a decision that was almost unheard of in Roman history. In the year 305, he chose to abdicate his throne willingly. This was a momentous event, as Roman emperors traditionally held onto power until death. The reasons for Diocletian's abdication are still a subject of debate among historians. Some suggest that he was motivated by declining health, while others propose that he was disillusioned with the political intrigues and constant power struggles that marked the Roman Empire. Regardless of the reasons, his decision to step down sent shockwaves throughout the empire. With Diocletian's abdication, a power vacuum was created that led to a turbulent struggle for control. His co-emperor Maximian was also urged to abdicate, leading to a tussle for power among their successors, Constantius Chlorus and Galerius. The power struggle escalated into a civil war, known as the Wars of the Tetrarchy, that further destabilized the empire. Diocletian's departure from the throne had a profound impact on the Roman Empire. His absence led to a period of instability and conflict, starkly contrasting the period of relative peace and prosperity during his reign. However, his influence was far from over. The administrative and military reforms he had introduced continued to shape the empire, providing a degree of stability amid the chaos. His decision to abdicate also set a precedent for future emperors, challenging the traditional notion of absolute power held until death. This had a significant impact on how power was perceived and transferred in the Roman Empire, adding a new layer to the complex dynamics of Roman politics. Diocletian's fall from power marked the end of an era, but his legacy would continue to shape the Roman Empire for centuries to come. So what remains of Diocletian's legacy today? As we look back on the pages of history, the influence of Diocletian is undeniable. His rule not only reshaped the Roman Empire during his time, but its echoes continue to reverberate through the centuries. Diocletian's most significant contribution was the Tetrarchy, a system of government where power was divided among 4 individuals. This model, though not without its flaws, was a radical departure from the autocratic rule that was the hallmark of the Roman Empire. It set a precedent for shared leadership, an idea that would be revisited time and again in various forms throughout history. But Diocletian's influence extended beyond the political sphere. His administrative reforms, for instance, were instrumental in streamlining the sprawling bureaucracy of the Roman Empire. He divided the empire into dioceses and provinces, a system that proved so effective that it remained in place long after the fall of Rome. It's a testament to the efficacy of his reforms that many modern administrative divisions, like counties and prefectures, can trace their origins back to Diocletian's system. In the realm of law, Diocletian's edict on maximum prices aimed to curb inflation by setting price ceilings on goods and services. Though it ultimately failed, it represented one of the earliest attempts at economic regulation. In military strategy, Diocletian's restructuring of the Roman army laid the groundwork for the Byzantine Empire's formidable military machine. His focus on fortifications and border defenses would inspire future leaders and shape the course of military history. Diocletian's reign was a turning point in the history of the Roman Empire. It was a time of innovation and reform, of bold experiments in governance, and of a leader unafraid to challenge the status quo. His legacy is not just in the structures he built or the laws he enacted, but in the spirit of adaptation and renewal that he embodied. Diocletian's legacy is a testament to the profound impact one man can have on the course of history.